You're watching number 72. 72.
That's not creepy.
63, climb maintain 13,000.
13,000, 63.
63, contact the New York Center 128.3.
28 for Agent Blue 63, good day. Hello, Captain.
On Approach is a flight sim and aviation enthusiast podcast featuring the week's top user-submitted stories and news from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 72. Your host tonight from this side, Mr. Spark Smudge today. Hello!
Hello, miss!
And more awake today, Sparky. So sorry for the other day. Last week was rough for all of us.
Yeah, that was, you know, shift and then get home and rush and get in and get done. It was,
We've got a nice,
I was dead
smooth one today. Smooth
much
show.
better.
Over here, Maple Syrup Can checking in.
Hello.
Did you do the hover hand again? That looks so creepy. Straight dead hand, bro. It's like
it's a dead end. Yeah, if you don't know what that means, we did that a couple, many shows ago. Like all dead hands.
I think it. I think it has to do with like the circle form factor that might just kind of like add to it. It's easy to hide.
No reference point.
Yeah, there's no reference. That's so weird. And way over there, my noodle is Karma. What's up, my man?
Good evening.
Good evening. What are you drinking? You got some coffee?
Yeah, coffee. Yeah, you know, I just wanted a little bit of pick me up. I do believe I'm going to be up for, late. So
what are you playing?
I'm going back to the whole MMO thing for a while. So I'm doing Elder Scrolls Online because, you know, Skyrim, for those you don't know, Elder Scrolls Online, Skyrim. Star Trek Online because I'm a Star Trek nut. And it's funny that I started playing Star Trek again. And then my wife texted talking about, hey, convention. I think it's in like 2 weeks out here. So sucks for you if you're a fan and you can't make it to Vegas.
Does that mean that Las Vegas is a really good place to hold fucking conventions?
For anybody watching this who knows about the Star Trek convention, and if you're a flight sim enthusiast, keep in mind that the Star Trek convention has been out here for years. Successful every year.
And why is where that? It is and what date it is every year, Mr.
I'm going to, let me, ladies and gentlemen, please come closer. And to those of you who, you know, get these conventions and expos together, notice how successful Star Trek is in Las Vegas for all these years. Because why? Everybody knows where it's at. Everybody wants to come here because it's enjoyable. Because at the end of the day, there is plenty of shit to do. That's why it does not go to other places.
I don't think there's been a convention ever that has failed in Las Vegas. Sit on that one.
Maybe in Texas, but not here in Vegas.
What's the last convention you heard of in Orlando?
Disney,
the Disney get together.
I believe there was a Disney-style convention with wings on it somewhere in Texas. Yeah.
We'll get to that later. Well, this is not even the run-up yet. We're not even there yet. But it's probably a good segue. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the run-up. This is the beginning of the show, the chance to give every host an opportunity to kind of vent or praise something or warn you about something or enlighten you about something that they've discovered during the week or experienced during the week. It could be new software, it could be new scenery, etc., etc. Anyways, who wants to go first?
I'll go. I didn't have anything last week. I did actually have something last week, but I was very tired and it kind of slipped my mind and stuff. I purchased a new chair, Mr. Edson, Mr. Noodle, Mr. Kevin. As you might have known, I've been sitting on that last seat for a long time, and it was time for a new one. So I purchased a new one. Here it is. It's very nice. But I gave it a 1 star. on Amazon, where I purchased it from, because the box arrived. It was beautiful, packaged, and packed everything, all the parts in place, ready to construct it. I deconstructed my old seat, so I had space to put it. There's no fucking bolts in the bag, in the box. No bolts. How? It's like, no, let's just check everything again. Let's check, make sure it's not tucked in somewhere, you know, hidden. I ended up going back on Amazon and buying bolts.
Bag of bolts.
I bought bolts to put my seat together. I could have made it. I could have sent it back, but it was an absolute hassle to do that. It weighs a ton. The Holly Life reclining gaming racing chair from Amazon. Beware, it may come with no bolts.
So you know when you're on the Amazon webpage, at the bottom you always have recommended items. Were the bolts in there?
No.
Oh wow, we recommend bolts. But
And one more question:
purchase.
the bolts, did you purchase them from the chair manufacturer or just you?
No,
some random.
I bought them from a third party.
That's great.
Literally, I was lucky actually, because the actual instructions that came with the chair had the bolt sizes. So I knew what size bolts to buy. So that did kind of.
Well, that's a good warning, Sparky. That's actually a really good warning, because I know all the time, right? People are always looking for a new chair. Actually, oddly enough, in the last week, I've seen 3 YouTubers posting about new chairs. So it seems like a hot season for new chairs right now. So that's a really good warning to put out. What was the manufacturer again?
Holly Life.
Holly Life.
Reclining gaming chair.
And overall, though, comfort-wise,
it's nice, comfy. It's bedding in nicely. It's it's a bit hard to start with, but it's breaking in. It's breaking.
All right, Mr. Kevin, what you got?
It's that time of the year again when the government wants your money, right? So I'm not a very organized person, all right? So what I used to do for the past few years is just shove all those like receipts in a bag and just try not to think about it. But now I have too many of them and I don't have a choice but to sort them. So I spent major part of the day today sorting through paperwork. So I have my emergency, like someone needs my money kind of pile. I have the company papers here. I have investment papers here. I got some restaurant receipts. I went to Staples earlier today because I needed a cabinet to put my files in. So I bought the thing. I was like, it's super nice. 190 bucks as two sort of drawers. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave with this. I get out of the store with it. It doesn't fit in my car.
Before you're gonna say it had no bolts.
No, because it was already built, but it didn't fit in my car because it was too deep, too wide, too tall. It was like, how's that gonna work? So I had to go back in, give the thing back to the guy. Like, it doesn't fit in the car. He's like, okay, we'll make a refund. You order it online and we'll get it shipped to your place tomorrow. All good. So yeah, my question, do you guys love taxes and paperwork and invoices and receipts and tax thing? I try to forget about it, but every once and then I get a letter from the government saying, hey, you owe us money. Next step is we're closing your business. So
yep.
Well, luckily here in the UK, unless you're self-employed, 99% of the time your taxes are done by your employer, so I don't have to worry about that. It's all PAYE, it's all done for me. But my brother, he's self-employed and he has to do his own taxes. And you know what? He's got an accountant. There's these people out there, Kevin, called accountants, and they do it.
Dude, I have an accountant, but I still need to prep everything up to give it to him.
Yeah,
and that's
you still
the
need
biggest
files.
part. Yeah.
That cabinet right there, that's my piles. The top one is, you know, all the receipts and paperwork, and then I have other miscellaneous personal receipts and paperwork in the second one. But yeah, I'm like you, dude. It's piles.
That's it.
Mr. Noodle, what you got?
You know, the weather did a little turn out here in Vegas with winds, a lot of clouds. We had rain and all that good stuff.
You have rain?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
weather? And
Yeah, we do get weather. Yeah. So it's kind of sapped my energy and all. But I had that realization years ago. I didn't think it was a thing, but I guess it is a thing that, you know, if you don't see the sun, get sun, or, you know, whatever big weather change, it does affect people, you know, and I didn't think it would bother, but I know that now. So, you know, when it got all gloomy and shit outside, you know, I'm looking out there, I'm like, hey, clouds, maybe I should fly a plane. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna go to space. So I've been doing my MMOs and doing fantasy lands and just enjoying that right now, because just looking out the window, you know, and when I should be taking advantage of really shitty weather and all that, it should be fun, which I normally do, couldn't bring myself to it. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go to space, because in space, the fuck is weather? For you guys, you know, folks out there, if you're a big gamer, you know, I'm a ridiculous gamer. You know, I don't just flight sim. I play a lot of different genres, and, you know, if you ever to chat me up on Discord about games and from way back till now and all that, I've more than likely played it. It's ridiculous. I'm stupid. It's just the way it is. Do you get to that point where it's like, you know what? I'm just going to go back and play some games I haven't played before and put all these other games on hold? You know, even if you have a library of new games, which I have a shit ton of games I bought that I have not even played yet, but you just kind of go back like, nah, you're going back to some games that you just haven't done in a while. So if you're one of those, I'd be interested to see what games you guys have gone back to, because, you know, for whatever reason. And if you're a Twitch type, don't do what these idiots do. Don't follow the Twitch gaming trends, because if you notice, I noticed this big thing now. Everybody's up on Warcraft all over again. I played Warcraft 5.5 years, and, you know, enough is enough. But, you know, I see this thing now where everybody on Twitch is all of Warcraft all over again. So anyways, I'd just be curious if, you know, for you people out there, if you are kind of jumping back to playing other games that you've played and you've conquered, you just want to keep doing it because you just get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And right now, for me, yet again, it's Star Trek Online. Trekkie.
I've got a recent experience this past week. So I've been flying solo for a few weeks, and that said, I've been trying to avoid cooking. It's been quite interesting, actually. I haven't eaten McDonald's a single time, which is kind of amazing. But right.
Lies.
So one night, I was doing a live stream. TSL Live was open. The party was going strong. And I remember saying, like, I've got to go because I've got to eat. And Buck Natick was like, bro, get on to Uber Eats. He's like, get on to Uber Eats. And I've done it a few times before. But he's like, you can have something different every night. He's like, just get on to Uber Eats. Don't worry about disconnecting. Just stay right here and party. Get on to Uber Eats. So I did. And that first night started a downhill cycle of Uber Eats, like, every night, right? So I'm ordering Uber Eats. But, like, my experiences as well with them have gone downhill. My most memorable one was this. I order from a place that's about 10 minutes away, tops. I open up the app and it says your order is on the way by bicycle. So I'm like, okay, so
Silicon Valley, man.
So a car will get me my food faster. My food will be warmer in a car. Off the bat, I prefer a car. But I have no choice. Probably there's some algorithm that said, hey, a bike would be fine for this, so they gave it to a bike rider. So this bike rider starts getting closer. It's like 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm looking at the map, and this bike rider is like zooming. And I'm like, what is going on? It has live GPS, right? So you're watching the bike. This bike is zooming down the highway, 2 exits down the highway. We're talking California exits here, 2 exits down the highway. And I'm like, oh snap, dude. Like, think about this, okay? This girl named Tanya riding a bicycle through Oakland, gets abducted, gets thrown in a car, my food in tow, her phone in hand, still tracking because she was an Uber driver. Next thing you know, this bicycle's moving at car speed, driving south, and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? So I message, and I'm like, are you okay? No response. Over time, the little blip makes a U-turn and starts getting closer and closer and closer. 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute is arriving. Then it goes past my house, about half a block down, more than half a block down. So I'm like, great. I selected door to door, but this is obviously not going to work this way. So I start walking out. I walk down the street, and here's this person holding my food, walking out of some other lot. And she's like, is this you? And I was like, yeah, it's me. And she's like, oh, people around here don't order food like this. And I was like,
wow, what an excuse.
What? And anyway, so there's a car waiting down at the corner, no bike in sight, and this lady walking towards me with my food. So I'm like, hey, you okay? And she stops, bro. I swear to you, she stops and she's like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? And I'm like, whoa. I was like, I'm literally asking if you're okay. She's like, yeah, I'm okay. And she's like, why you asking? And I was like, bro, I'm literally asking, are you okay? I got no problem with you. Why do you have a problem with me? And honest to God, I think that the mistake in translation here was she's probably thinking, this fool thinks I'm taking too long. So he's like, are you okay or something? But that's not why I was asking. So I'm like, let me stop you right there. I was like, slide over here right quick. And I pull out my phone, and I had taken screenshots just in case I needed to report this. It was like 4 minutes, 2 minutes, bicycle, down the street, 2 blocks down, 3 exits down. And I was like, it says you're on a bike, but obviously you work in the system right now, right? So here's how this is gonna work. You ain't getting a tip from me. And I'm telling you that right now. I'm not gonna rank you down, but you're not getting a tip. You have a good day. And I go back, she goes grumpy. I go back, my food's, semi-cold. I contact Uber and they handle it. And they're like, according to policy, she was gaming the system, and they gave me my money back. So bravo Uber for that, for taking care of it. What would you have done? Did I do the right thing by not tipping, but not down rating either? I left the rating standard, right? I didn't go 5 stars, but I left it right in the middle. But I didn't tip, and I told her that I wasn't going to, and because she was getting an attitude. Horror stories from Uber, share them with me, please. They seem to be in the news a lot right now, so share them in the comments. Let's share some
stories. My question
stories.
to you, though, is why is taking a car instead of a bike gaming the system?
By riding a bike, it's getting her jobs nearby. By working with a car, she's able to collect the jobs that are zim, 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 and she's delivering them back to back, and so she's able to take more jobs.
Yeah, she's getting more money, more tips, this, that, and the other.
When another person has to drive 10, 15 minutes, she's driving 3-minute distances, 4-minute distances like this, bro. And because she's registered with a bicycle, Uber is just like, oh yes, this is nearby. It's about 4 blocks. This is about 5 blocks. This is about 3 blocks. And it's just,
I can't believe they don't like the algorithm, right? A bike at 60 miles per hour just doesn't make sense.
Right? Anyways.
Yeah, anyway.
Let's get to the news. A big thank you to our popular contributors this week. In the number 1 spot, Ivana Fly, coming up hard lately, Ivana. Wow. Number 2 spot, our Gold Club patron, Mr. Gibbon. Number 3, Tomcat UK. Number 4, Vitus. Followed by Tailhook, Papa G, Osflight Simmer, Pincom 2016, Catterley 1, and last but definitely not least, Ground Crew patron, Mr. David White. Ladies and gentlemen, without you submitting content, topics, discussion points, we've got nothing to talk about here on the show, so thank you very much. And for those that don't typically submit content, please consider thanking those that do by smacking the Sky 5 logo on the posts. Helps us recognize those that are contributing, which feeds this beautiful cycle of keeping the shows going that entertain you. So yeah, you see how that works. Anyway, Sky 5 guys, and thank you for the great topics this week. Just Sim joins growing list of anti-flightsimstore.com developers. Alright, this posted on Facebook. As some of you might have noticed already, there are no new Just Sim sceneries available at Flight Sim Store anymore. The reason is this vendor is not very trustful in the last couple of months. They do not update the products when they've been sent to them, and they are also very lazy when it comes to pay the developer, if they ever do. For the future, please purchase Just Sim sceneries via simmarket.com, as there is no guarantee that you will get updates for already purchased sceneries. Also, we can better support you guys. This is very unfortunate and we are very sorry about this. If you have any questions, please get in contact with me. This posted by Mr. Johannes, I'm assuming is the correct pronunciation. So another one jumps on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that.
It's a slippery slope for Flight Sim Store, I'm afraid.
I wouldn't say it's slippery. They're already sliding. They're already on a 45-degree slide downwards now.
Right.
And it's going to continue to increase incrementally by degree per day. They've essentially shot themselves in the ass. So good on you.
The developers aren't even able to contact them, so I'd say it's even more than 45 degrees. They're not even touching the ground. They're just falling towards the bottom of the cliff right now.
If anything, my only thing about this is A, I'm not surprised, but B, for Sim Market, you are basically obviously going to get a huge influx in your data traffic. So whatever you do, if any of the Sim Market folks catch this cast, please talk with your big dogs and make sure your infrastructure is tight, because you're going to start getting banged on your website that much more now, and you don't want to run into the situation of, you know, you're taking everybody in, but you're not reinforcing, you're not taking care of your infrastructure to handle the increased load. So
really good point.
Sim Market has been good. Sim Market has been good on that front. Their infrastructure has been robust throughout.
Yeah, but their download speeds can be really slow sometimes. They can take a hit.
Yeah, but at least you can still download. So
yeah, so I want to bring this up. It's good that another one is joining that list. That's great. Developers speaking up is very important. As consumers, we follow their lead, right? If a developer is going to warn about a store, as consumers, we have to listen. We can't ignore those flares. However, we had this discussion 2 episodes ago. At what point does the responsibility of the actual developer end with supporting their end users? So one of the members here on the lounge, Wild Bill, posts, I've tried over and over again to contact justsim.com regarding my purchases at the Flight Sim store, but I get no reply. I can't even log on to their forums or store. It says I've been banned, but again, the admin doesn't respond. Does that mean that I need to purchase those products again? So In this case, you have a developer warning the community, their customers, don't buy from FlightSimStore.com. But at the same time, from this one report, we're seeing that they also have a bit of a closed door policy and hands up in the air, like I can't help you when it comes down to taking care of somebody that owns scenery that they've created. And what bothers me even more is that this is one report on the SkyLounge.tv. But if you go over here to the Facebook post, a user named Sydney posts, I have many sceneries from Just Sim bought there, and I cannot get any downloads anymore. Loss of about 150 euros. And the Just Sim guy replies, like I said, PayPal complaint. If you purchase via PayPal, this is the only way to get in contact with Flight Sim Store. Bro, like, I'm just trying to get my software that you developed and sold and put in this store. You better give me my damn download links. No, this is not okay. So not only a report over on the SkyLounge.tv, but now we see a report on their post, and then the developer themselves replying, oh, well, contact PayPal if you want to get a resolution. You want to get your money back. I don't want my money back. Give me my software. If they can't, you can, because you made it and you trusted that store to handle your shit. Fulfillment. Fulfill.
Yeah, that's really messed up, though. The only way you can get any response is letting PayPal handle it, you know. But I can see that because PayPal's going to look at it, oh, well, if PayPal's going to continue to get banged on and they're going to have to handle this, it just could come down to, I don't know, maybe PayPal revoking Flight Sim Store to even using their method of monetary transactions. You know, if you get enough strikes, I'm guessing, but that could be something.
I think actually asking, you know, the customer to go over to PayPal and get them to resolve it is a bit of a cop-out from the developer. I think the developer should be more hands-on with that situation.
Or it could be that they have no means of, say, if you purchase something from them, going through this right now, they may not have any way of getting you a copy because they don't have the infrastructure because they rely on Flight Sim Store. So, but if that's the case, that they have no way to give you a copy once you provide verification that you actually made the purchase, that's really bad. And they need to indicate, so they need to put it on their website, wherever else, you know, we use Flight Sim Store. Unfortunately, we have no ways and means to get you all a copy because of Flight Sim Store, and that's what we use. Your best recourse is, say, PayPal or whatever method to get. And again, it is shitty, you know, which is why I said before, developers, get your own store going. I mean, I said this before, and again, this is another case of it. Either really talk with a solid, reputable store, or build your own.
I don't like that concept, right? Like, I now have to rebuy everything at another store. That's messed up. Like, but I can see the developer side of things. There is a logistics catch to this, right? Version 1.1 of the software you own is out. We don't have a store, but you're right, we developed the software. So let me take care of you and get you version 1.1. Boom, Dropbox link. You now have 1.1. 1.2 gets released in 8 months. How am I gonna once again have to take care of you, but not only you, the other 450 individual emails that are going to come through from the other people that I took care of in the same way. And now I'm getting a barrage of emails from every direction from all the people that purchased from FlightSimStore.com. A barrage of messages from all the individuals that I've taken care of. I feel like the only real way to take care of it is to say, here's how this is going to work. Sim Market is able to do what's called a cash purchase, right? You've seen it list on it. It's called cash. That's how developers handle promos. They tell you, do this, select the cash, and then we will approve your invoice number, and then you own it, right? Because they've received the cash in hand, and they basically just tell SimMarket, yep, mark it as paid. So that happens. My question though is SimMarket still, for that new purchase now, somehow charging that developer X percentage? Because they have to handle the download resource, right? So now it's actually costing the developer out of pocket 10% of the price. Let's just say it's more than that. Let's be real. It's like 30%. 30% of the price they're paying to SimMarket for you to access your free download. Now it's costing the developer. Do I feel bad? Maybe. Is it their bad decision to begin with?
That's not the situation though. You gotta buy those. You gotta buy the scenery from SimMarket. There's no like transferring licenses.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You select cash. You send the developer the invoice number. They mark it as, they email SimMarket and mark it as paid. That's how that works. That's how they handle promos. I've done it. So they're able to get you into the SimMarket ecosystem, but I feel like manually, right? But I feel like what needs to happen is, if SimMarket wants to be the life raft, come in and be the life raft. Say, here's how this is going to work. We will take on any developer that wants to bring us their customers that were previously at FlightSimStore.com. We'll take you on. You can get your people onboarded into our store at a reduced rate. Now we're going to help you by being the life raft for you. It's not going to cost you a full arm and a leg because it's not a new purchase. You're not seeing a dime. We're seeing 30%. We'll help you be the life raft, or just say zero.
Here's where it falls apart very quickly. How does that developer know who purchased what through the Flight Sim store?
Well, do you have a receipt?
To the individual. That will be down to the individual to provide.
That would be.
Proof of purchase.
I can guarantee you by experience, more than 60-70% of people don't keep those email and don't keep those references.
That is when it's okay to put your hands in the air. You don't have a receipt, bro, that's on you. I have no way of knowing you bought that.
Right.
I think the easy way to solve this, and I don't know if we've mentioned it before with another developer going through this, is when these developers opt to leave Flight Sim Store and go to someplace else. So these guys have gone to SimMarket. I feel what SimMarket ought to do is, once they have the full library of a developer, anyone, and they can say make a note on their main page, if you are a customer, well, if you have bought one of these products, a continuing list, okay, that came from Flight Sim Store, send us an email with the verification of your transaction from them, you know, the order information, that email, basically submit your legitimate proof of purchase from the Flight Sim Store, send it to us, build an account on our website if you do not have it already. Exactly. We will verify it, and we will in turn place it onto your account where you can now download the product and continue to receive updates. That would be smart.
I had an issue yesterday. I had this very same issue yesterday. I purchased an aeroplane. PayPal went through, but it didn't register on their store as paid. I contacted the developer. I showed him the PayPal receipt. He went, done. It's now available for download. Enjoy your plane. Thank you very much, sir. And you know who you are, sir. So thank you.
Yeah, I feel like now it's a much bigger problem, and it gives SimMarket and other stores an incredible opportunity to step up for the community and be the life raft. And that's a good place to be. A really good place to be. Because if you step up and become the life raft, All of those are new sets of eyes for your store. Each and every one of them. Anyways, that's that topic. Look, Wild Bill, let us know how that goes. And if anybody out there is watching from Just Sim, because maybe you'll catch on to this and see us rant about it, please get in touch with Wild Bill. Make this right, because you know it's not right. You know it's not right. This one's submitted by Flight on Fly. Flight Control Replay Professional V4 out now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this one was actually out some time ago. If I'm not mistaken, this was the first replay tool for the current version of P3D. Before Chase Plane's replay feature existed Flight Control Replay. Full disclosure, I have not had a chance to use this. However, I am thankful to the developer. The developer did offer a copy to use, and I will at some point be getting to that, so I'll be able to report back from a user standpoint on it. But let's go into just kind of some key points. After a lot of months of analysis and requirements collection from actual users and the beta test team, I'm proud to announce a new major version of Flight Control Replay Professional Edition. Flight Control Replay is a software that permits to record and play flight situations in P3D v4, v4.x, v3, v2, v1, FSX, FSX Steam Edition, blah 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 blah. In v4 came the introduction of Relive, Instant Replay, and Restart, a flight from a user-defined time slot, and many more features listed below, like an in-game menu. User can record and play directly from the Flight Sim UI. PMDG Enhanced Recording and Playing, Majestic Q400 Enhanced Support, FSFX Immersion Package Support, Video Rendering Feature, not in a compressed format, that's actually really nice. P3D Enhanced Version of Flight Control Replay developed in native way for the Lockheed platform. So this is really actually exciting, because one of the things that that is important when doing a nice replay is all those effects. You want all the PMDG things to do the way they're supposed to do, the wing flex, etc. And you really want those touchdown effects to be spot on. Even more if you have the beautiful FSFX immersion effects for the plane that you're flying. You want those to render exactly how they rendered when you were in a cockpit view while landing the plane. Have any of you guys used this?
Used it myself, but I know people that used to use what used to be FS Recorder to do YouTube videos and, you know, fly along with your, record yourself and then fly along with yourself in multiple, to make really good YouTube videos. And when they lost that ability to record, the YouTube quality of videos kind of really dropped off. And now with this, I assume those levels are going to go back up, because they will be able to record multiple aircraft and fly along with your virtual self and do some really good stuff with the new effects as well, with, you know, with all the effects in place. So yeah, you know, this is going to be good for the community.
And enhanced for helicopters as well.
There were I remember, like in 2004, 2006, back when essentially when FS Recorder was around and still maintained and compatible with the main sims, we had beautiful movies made out of Flight Sim on YouTube and on FS videos and other websites, and those creators stopped creating at some point because the guy
FS Recorder was just went.
Yeah, exactly. FS Recorder was one of the best tools ever made, in my opinion, and it enabled a lot of things creatively. Now this add-on is, I believe, the closest thing we'll get to FS Recorder for P3D, and I'm very glad someone took on the challenge to do that. We started a replay system in Chaseplane, but it's very limited in what it can do because we're staying within the boundaries of the SDK without airplane exceptions, I could say, like they're doing with the Majestic and the PMDG thing. I'm curious to see how they deal with a few of the bugs that we're having with Chaseplane and the replay system. But from what I see, they did a really good job at making it smooth and making it useful. I talked earlier with Edson about how you have two types of developers in this community, right? Well, in the community and in programming in general, right? You have the programmers and you have the designers, right? The worse it looks, the more functional it is. And I see this add-on as being very, very functional.
It's an odd perspective, but I think I follow what you mean.
I'm really not a fan of the user interface, but if it does what it's supposed to do, it's absolutely amazing.
I've never used any of these. I'm very aware of FS Recorder, like everybody else. I've never used them because for me, you know, I'm not putting anything on YouTube and all, but I definitely feel that now that there is somebody like you're saying who has taken the challenge of doing this, because it's been long overdue. And you're absolutely right. You know, when I got back into simming back towards the end of 2013, no, not 2013. Well, a while back, I was watching a lot of videos, and it was really surprising to see the quality and what some of these people out there were doing, having, you know, such an amazing tool, which was FS Recorder. So let's just hope that it works well. And like you're saying, how does this work with developer aircraft that tend to have, you know, when you do the normal replay, the animations go wonky? So
like that, saying, like the elevators right there. That's a common one. That's a common one. Yep.
The trim.
Yeah, it's just they're bouncing.
Yeah, the trim is misaligned as well. It is, you know, and that's a problem that's the problem we have with P3D and FSX and ESP in general, is that a lot of developers will go around the traditional SDK and traditional variables for a myriad of reasons. Some good, some bad, mostly good because they need to go around a bug or a limitation of the platform. But that makes it so that creating a replay system, or even using their built-in replay system, breaks everything, right? And I feel like we don't have the same, and I have not done my research on that, but that's just my pure feeling, is that on X-Plane, it's not as big as a problem as it is on P3D. Because on X-Plane, when you do the replays, even on complex aircraft, not everything sticks together, but most things stick together. And on P3D, if you even try to use the built-in replay system, everything falls apart almost immediately.
Pretty cool features. I'm excited to give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot. It definitely looks like this is a production tool. It definitely looks like this is a production tool.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be
not
for
for a
the
Swift
YouTube
replay
content creators.
Yeah. Time for releases. This one posted by the Maple Syrup Can. And it looks like he already got trolled. Somebody said, oh, it's immersion package for the Just Flight 747.
Yeah, you got
Nice. Nice.
No, it is not, ladies and gentlemen. It's very obvious. That is the PMDG 747. It's time for releases. So, Cosford, beautiful, beautiful opportunity for releases. Am I right, Mr. Kevin, that you said,
absolutely,
if I'm gonna do a release, I'm gonna wait for Cosford every year?
Yeah, so now the fun thing is we have two events. We have FS Expo and we have Cosford. Sadly, this year FS Expo was a bit too early on our schedule, and Cosford just fitted right in place for our releases with an S, because we have a few things to release on the show and announce. It's not just release, but yeah, we have a few things to announce as well. So
you had a spot on stage this year, Kevin.
Yeah, spot on stage, about 1 hour on stage. We'll cover all that we had to cover, just like last year. I think having an audience in front of us, announcing product in front of an audience, is it creates a different dynamic to an announcement, or other than just like announcing it on FS Elite or something. So yeah, it's better. It's better to get feedback as well.
Will there be a "but that's not all" moment?
Who knows?
He didn't slip up.
Right?
He didn't slip up.
We'll have to see.
X Vision for X-Plane 11. This one also submitted by the Maple Syrup Can. So, a new tool from the original creator of PTA, but this time on X-Plane.
You
didn't see that one, eh? Didn't you?
I'm going to be playing with this today.
So I saw this, was it like a few days ago, right? And I saw the thumbnail on that video, and the first thing I noticed was the water. They fixed the water. My water's fixed. I fixed my own water.
No, it's not. Not like this, Sparky. Not like this.
I've looked at this, and the one thing I do like about X-Plane is the lighting and the feel of it, and being able to enhance it like this. Oh yes, I'm gonna be playing.
It's funny.
Gorgeous.
I downloaded this. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but since we were talking about it earlier. But the first thing I did say in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is PTA for X-Plane, and now knowing that it was the guy who or the team, whomever, whatever, did PTA originally, now they're doing it for X-Plane. That's pretty damn interesting.
Look, you want to know what I want? I want an import tool, because the format did not change between the original PTA and the current Bellins PTA tweak thing. So that format is still the PTA.ini file. Give me an importer where Yuri says 1-to-1, this change should roughly equal this change in X-Plane. Give me an importer tool that I can take what I consider beautiful profile, take it to X-Plane and go. And I know it won't be exact. I know it won't. I get it. But give me that, Yuri. Give it to me.
Edson, I'm sure he would be down to do that. The only thing is that you'd be the one calibrating and finding the values.
That's fine. Man, bro. This is actually really, really exciting. Because I've always said X-Plane has... It lacks what I always say as soul. It lacks soul. It's needed a little bit of soul, and this gives it that, bro. This is the blank canvas, and now we paint.
Well, the thing is, and I've heard that one a lot. It does have tools that you can use, but this is the first time something has basically been compiled into one product. There's been other plugins, and that's what you have not seen because you don't use it.
Yeah.
Wonder why. 2 years been trying, knucklehead. But anyways, no, there have been plugins and tools that do a lot of these things, but not all encompassing like this.
What I want to know is this on the fly? Do you change the values and you'll see this in real time, or is it literally you got to reload it every time and to
that
see
would be
what
interesting.
the effects are?
But you know
Some
what?
of them are Lua scripts, though. Most of I would
That's
assume.
what
most
I'm
of them are
looking.
Lua
Yeah,
scripts.
I think I did read that it uses a lot of Lua scripts, which means I assume you're going to have to load in and reload and load and reload to actually see what changes you've made.
you should be able to do it like with what was it called, X Reloader. You know, you can do your plane, scenery, and whatever. It's like 3 things you can do. You know, using that plugin, boom, reload, bang. So it could probably work with something like that, where you can just reload it and just like that.
Right. Well, or maybe it requires a reload, which is going to exponentially increase the amount of time Edson's going to take tuning this shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
But knowing X-Plane, you know, some of the scripts is just 2 clicks reload. You don't have to reload the damn thing.
Bro,
Yeah,
look at this scene.
It's beautiful.
The area of pink, the area of orange, the area of the dark blue in the top corner. Like, this is it's got life. It's just beautiful lighting, and all this is doing is just kind of adjusting that palette, right, to really make it pop. Incredible. I'm so excited. I want
this to be compatible with the new 3D clouds in XEnviro, right? The .10 variants that they're going to release. I want this to be compatible. Beautiful.
This one posted by Mr. Lewis Bloom. IL-2 series updates. Some great news from the IL-2 chappies and chaplets. Chapettes today about early access World War I flying circus tank sim. Flying circus.
Well, looking at the picture,
tank sim.
I thought that was a new plane from A2A, but nah.
I cannot wait to get stuck into that. And it also updates for the Operation Bowden plate with the addition of the FW-190. So I own this, but I've never launched it. Sparky, you've used it. Can you tell me about it? I feel like it's pay to play.
No, not really. I have IL-2, and I probably have about the same amount of time in it as you do, or probably about 10 minutes.
Okay.
I mean,
it looks beautiful.
By all accounts, it's a beautiful sim, and you know, it's very, very good multiplayer sim. But I just haven't had. I haven't got my teeth into it. You know.
Wait, go back. One picture. Look at the reflection of the K on the wing.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that's nice.
It's a little detail, but potential. Sorry, I interrupted you, Sparky.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the IL-2. It's the A10 of World War II. You know, it's an iconic plane, and you know, I really should get into it, but I just haven't had the time.
Oh.
Ooh. Inside of the tank.
So you're actually in a tank here. Oh. But that looks like you're playing Tank Wars in P3D. I'm not a fan of that look right there.
Like
yeah. I'm not a fan of that look right there. I'd rather get in a tank in Grand Theft Auto 5 and just rip it up. Yeah, I think on the ground it's still a little bit raw. I think in the air it's probably more beautiful than on the ground.
It looks straight out of like 2003. Whoa. What was that? A glitch.
But you got to keep in mind too that this bit is just in essence to me an add-on to basically a flying thing. This is just extra sweetness, so you can't go and nitpick the ground game because this wasn't originally designed for the ground game.
Can we ask because these are all mods. These are all mods. Can we ask the modders? Can we have a wireframe version so I can play Battlezone again?
Oh, how cool would that be, huh?
You can actually. Intel does a little software used to debug 3D software, and you can turn every game you want into wireframe mesh.
Oh,
what? Yeah, I know Lewis is a big fan of the IL-2 series, so maybe we'll have to ask him some more questions, or maybe he'll chime in down in the comments below, or maybe somebody else will. But I would definitely like to know more. I feel like I might like it in a multiplayer scenario, right? Sparky and I ripping it up in the skies with 2 of these chasing each other around could be fun. Flight Sim Expo announces dates and Orlando location. Ladies and gentlemen, you're off to Florida because I don't know if I'm going to Florida. But
Oh, come on.
it doesn't excite me, bro. I have
You're going to Florida.
listen,
You know
listen,
you're
listen,
going.
listen.
You'll go.
I'll go because I have to go, but I'm not excited at all. I am 0%, 0% excited. Not even exaggerating. 0% excited about going to freaking Orlando. Zero.
The way I'm looking at it is we've gone from the adults' playground of Vegas to the kids' playground of Orlando. And sorry, I'm not happy.
Not happy. Not happy. I'm all about letting it soak in, repetitive, always Vegas. Like, I would have been booking my hotel already for next year's expo. It was so good. It was so good. And it was so much fun that I already would have been booking my hotel for next year had it been on a cycle of it'll be Vegas, it'll be Vegas, it'll be Vegas. Because the cool thing about doing it that way is that you go, you make friends, you meet with vendors, developers, people. You know, you end up checking out another hotel and you're like, yo, this hotel's nice. Yeah, it was cheap too. Really? I'll look into it next year. Boom, now you're at another hotel for the next year. Next year you go, you discover another hotel. You're like, man, I'm just going to keep going around different hotel year after year. Next thing you know, you're the king of Las Vegas after a few years. Like, you've got it all covered. Las Vegas is a playground, man. It's a playground. Orlando, bro, we're gonna be eating at a Taco Bell again, just like we were in freaking Connecticut. We're gonna be like, where are we gonna go to dinner tonight? We're gonna go to Taco Bell because it's near the hotel.
Dude,
sort of.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, right? We're going to Orlando next year, and I'm just as excited as like Vegas, for the simple fact that all the people that are going to be there, whether I meet them in Vegas or I meet them in Orlando, I'm still going to meet them, so I don't really care. But the fact is, we're going to Orlando next year, and my guess is that people will be like, it was better in Vegas. Next year, let's go in Vegas.
The only thing I'm excited about is the people I'm going to meet, because I'm going to get to meet my good man Frugal. I'm going to get to meet my co-pilot for the first time, Mr. Bucknadic. So, you know, they're out in Orlando. They're
That's
Floridians.
a given.
Here's to you, man.
That's the only thing I'm excited
That's
about.
a given. But in Vegas, it was like, yo, it was so great to meet you. What are you up to tonight? Yeah, let's go to the Stratosphere. Let's go to the strip. Let's go do this.
You've been to Cosford.
Cosford
What is there to do in Cosford?
Cosford was a party, bro. We had the cops called on us in Cosford.
Yeah.
Cosford was the definition of a rager. It was in
It was in London.
Birmingham.
It was not in
That was Birmingham. That was where we were staying.
Yeah, Birmingham
Birmingham
was crazy. Birmingham on a Saturday night is absolutely mental.
It's like Vegas.
There's nothing more in Birmingham than there is in Orlando.
Let's be real. It's already a nerd fest. So in Vegas, at least you wake up to go to the nerd fest, and there are beautiful women everywhere, and for the ladies, beautiful men everywhere in Las Vegas.
Now you'll have beautiful Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, in Orlando, we're gonna wake up and see beautiful Mickey Mouse in the morning, and like a drone of kids running all together down the hallway, ready to go to Disney in the morning at 7 a.m. We're gonna be like,
Yeah, the kids part I'm not a fan of, but
For me, this is really disappointing because if you all remember what I was saying before, you know, it's about, you know, like at the top of the show, you know, I was talking about like the Star Trek convention. It's been in Vegas, you know, all the time because it works. Comic-Con, San Diego, it's always there because it works. This going to Orlando, down in the comments below, if you've been to Orlando, screw Disney. What is there in abundance in Orlando that is adult themed? Okay, and that's worth it. You know, is there a lot of restaurants, a lot of good bars, a lot of good, say, clubs? Are there a lot of things to do if you are an adult? Okay.
What is it known for other than Disney? Essentially,
that's my whole thing. This to me was the worst thing. And, you know, I agree with the sentiments, you know, about going and you're going to meet people. That's a given. But at the end of the day, when it's 5, 6, you go back to your hotel, you change, you spruce up, you smell good.
Exactly.
You go out. Then what are you going to do in fucking Orlando?
I do not want to stay at the hotel where the event is. I've always been against staying at the hotels where events are. Trust me, I do conventions all the fucking time. Don't stay at the hotel where the event is, unless you just want to save a buck because they have blocks of rooms, right? So all this stuff, food is made from scratch in-house. The ballrooms are beautiful. There's a pool, our arcade, outdoor game spaces. Really, it's gonna make, that's great. But come 6 o'clock, when it's time to go out and be extravagant, can we be as extravagant in Orlando as we were in Vegas? Because in Vegas, we were extravagant every fucking night, bro. Every night was a memory, and all of you know it. Every night we were like, it was extravagant every night.
Yeah, well, you know, we had dinner. You know, Edson was just like, yeah, what we're going to do now? And I said, we're going to Hard Rock. And we went to the Hard Rock till 2 o'clock in the morning.
You know, it was amazing. And we were with people from the community. Other developers were out with developers partying into the wee hours of the morning. That was such a good feeling. And really, you can only do that in Vegas. Because I'm not going to sit with somebody in a hotel bar until 2 in the morning. I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going back to my room. Y'all have a good night. I'll catch you tomorrow.
And, you know, and the other thing about it, and I could say so much about this, but I'll wrap up my final comment on this, is that keep in mind that this coming, if they would have kept it in Vegas, you go to a Sim, you know, Expo, and if you're coming from far away, you know, if you're coming from well outside Vegas, if you're coming far from the east, the north, over the Atlantic, or even the Pacific, you know, this was also like a vacation for you, because you know that, yeah, I'm going to Las Vegas, I'm going to this thing, but I'm going to Vegas. This is also a vacation.
Yeah, it was holiday for me. You know, it was a holiday as well.
Exactly,
as the convention.
It's also a holiday vacation. You know, you don't think of Orlando as an adult holiday vacation unless you go with your family, because why? Disney. That's all I can say.
Anyways, you'll see us all there, I'm sure. We'll all be there because we have to be. Yeah, because we have to be. But I wish it was in Vegas. And that's the last time I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say that again. I'm going to start to build the hype for Orlando. And I'm going to start researching what the options are for us to be extravagant in Orlando.
Yeah, please let us know.
All right, and we'll see what we find out.
Orlando.
We'll see what we find out.
Please.
Yes, post below if you're in the area. Great idea, Noodle. Post below. People that are in Orlando or the general area will probably have a car. We don't even need to stay in Orlando. So post below if there are options around the area and stuff. And now on to worth mentioning, ladies and gentlemen, will be swift. Here we go. The CRJ 700-900X gets an update by Aerosoft. Orbex releases LSPN Tringen Airport. If you missed the show, go check out the VOD. Twitch.tv/theskyloungetv. We did a beautiful flight out there with Sparky. You get 2 airports for the price of 1. And these are some of Orbex's very best so far. I promise they're incredible. Just Flight releases an update for Traffic Global. XATC Chatter 1.6 is now out. Coronado releases the PA-31 Navajo for X-Plane 11. The Lockheed Vega 5 receives an update to I love this version number 2. 0.04. And ladies and gentlemen, it also includes spectacular new effects by Mr. Kevin himself, FSFX packages, and a Sky Lounge repaint for all the people that own the plane. So head out and buy that, and patrons, don't forget you do have a discount code as well for this, the skylounge.tv/partners. Nav Data Pro 1808 is now available. Aeroplane Heaven Bristol Bulldog receiving a quick update to 1.1. An update for Latin VFR's KBWI. RF Scenery Building releases Venice. FlyJ Sim 727 Professional V3 sound preview. Sounds are a little bit difficult to preview here altogether, so we'll leave that in worth mentioning.
They sound good though.
Fly Tampa updates Hong Kong Kitech to version 2. And if I'm not mistaken, if you act quick, that's currently on sale at Sim Market. And last but definitely not least, Pilots Liam Almeria 1.20 update is on short final, and perhaps by the time we've released this, it's been released. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for another wonderful show. Some great topics this week. We hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, hit this. No, don't hit dislike, man. Hit like, subscribe, get notified, smack the bell, smack the booty. Sky 5.
63, climb maintain 13 down.
13,000, Tempo 63.
463, contact the New York Center 128.3.